First question for you would be, why do you want to be a state senator?
Well, I feel with the retirement of Senator Musto, it's an opportunity for me to go at a higher level, working in a bigger district in the city of Wilkes-Barre, and take the experience and knowledge that I was able to achieve and obtain as a chief executive officer of the city of Wilkes-Barre, on top of my 12 years of being a legislator, a city councilman in the city. So I have approximately 19 years of city government, and I feel that I've learned a lot in the last 19 years, both on the executive side of the government and the legislative side. It's a big district, and as I travel through the district, I realize and recognize the fact that a lot of the towns throughout the district have the same similar problems that the city of Wilkes-Barre does. Infrastructure, high school taxes, loss of jobs, and what has been accomplished in the city of Wilkes-Barre wasn't a result of one man. It was a result of one individual coming in and getting a group of people together to improve the city overall. I feel I have that leadership ability to work in Harrisburg, to work with both the Democrats and Republicans on each side of the aisle, to achieve and be able to accomplish what has been accomplished in the city of Wilkes-Barre throughout the entire district.
Are there certain things that you've learned that you think are completely applicable that, that you've been mayor for 6 years?
Six years and running, 4 months.
Are there things, hard knocks that you've taken, or things that you think are directly applicable to the Senate?
Well, again, it's the 12 years as a councilman, working under 2 different mayors, and then myself being the chief executive officer, making decisions that are sometimes very difficult. But again, I'm the type of individual, my personality I think will show, is that I'm not afraid to make a difficult decision. If a decision needs to be made that will improve the district, as they did with the city, I will make that decision. I've never put my political future ahead of the betterment of the city of Wilkes-Barre, and I'll do that for not only the 14th district, for the entire state of Pennsylvania.
But can I interject on that? What would you consider some of the decisions, the hard decisions you've had to make over the past, say, couple of years?
Well, one, when I became the mayor, the city of Wilkes-Barre was bankrupt. We could have filed Act 47, which is distress status, and we've discussed that many times before. I inherited $10.8 million of unfunded debt. We had no credit rating. We had no money in the bank. We had to do some difficult things, increase revenue, decrease expenditures, so that we truly had a balanced budget. In my 7 years of preparing a city budget, I've never prepared a frivolous budget. It's right to the bone. The expenses are pretty good. I mean, we always have stayed within the expenditure side of the budget. The unfortunate thing is the revenue, due to the economy, has been slow coming in. We had no credit rating, and if you look around the downtown and you look throughout the neighborhoods, we corrected a lot of infrastructure problems, which are important to the residents in the neighborhoods. And we're in the process of revitalizing a downtown that we did not have a downtown. But you could look at the bricks and the mortar and all the macadam that you put down. I feel my proudest accomplishment has been on the credit side. We had no credit rating. In 2006, we obtained a A- credit rating under Standard & Poor's, and they came in for their review just beginning of this year, end of last year, and we did our 3-hour presentation with them, and we did a walking tour of the downtown, and we were just notified within the last 30 days that we were upgraded to A. And we were pretty much told by our financial people, don't be upset, don't get discouraged if we're downgraded because of the economy. We were upgraded to A, which is now the 4th highest investment grade rating in the state of Pennsylvania under Standard & Poor's regulations. So other cities were downgraded. We were upgraded. And that has no politics involved. These are individuals that come into Wilkes-Barre City right off of Wall Street, evaluate our financials, take a walking tour, and the one individual mentioned, he said, I just can't believe I'm in the same city as I was back in 2006. That's what I'm proud about, because we didn't get that overnight. It took hard decisions to make. We cut staffing in City Hall. We increased the police department by 21 new officers, because public safety is at the top of the list of not only myself, but the residents and the visitors of the city of Wilkes-Barre. So these are accomplishments that were made based on making tough decisions. It didn't happen overnight, but it really meant cutting back in City Hall, cutting back on expenditures, and holding my department heads accountable. And I believe that is what is necessary in Harrisburg, is making the department heads, the respective secretaries of the state, have them hold their employees accountable for what transpires throughout the working day.
When making your decision to run for the Senate, with whom did you consult?
Well, when Senator Musto retired, I was actually in a senior staff meeting, and naturally the BlackBerry starts buzzing. Breaking news: Senator Musto's going to retire. By the time I got out of the staff meeting, I received numerous phone calls at my home that evening that, this is something for you. It's always been rumored that I would run for higher office, and I would never speculate on what office I would run for until that office was officially open. And we didn't have much time to make a decision. I did not have much time. I mean, that was, I believe, January 30th, and the petitions, the start circulating the petition was February 16th. So it was about 2 weeks that I had to make a decision. So I first talked to my family, and as every politician or elected official says, they're going to discuss it with their family to see what the feeling is within the family. I met with my supporters, but I truly did sit down with my family. We went to a restaurant in downtown Wilkes-Barre, and we sat and we had dinner, and we discussed the pros and cons of me going to Harrisburg. And I believe what was accomplished in the city of Wilkes-Barre had a lot to do with me making a decision to move forward, knowing that I gained valuable experience over the last 6 years working with officials in Harrisburg, working with federal officials in Washington, spending time in Washington and Harrisburg. I mean, that is where you go to get the money to bring it back home. I wanted to be able for people in the 14th district to come to Tom Leighton as their senator to sit down with me and go over what their vision is for their respective cities so that I could help them revitalize and resurrect their towns. But I did truly have a meeting with my family, and it was a family decision that the timing was right. My children are older. My oldest daughter is out of town. My son will be graduating from college next month, and my youngest daughter is a freshman at Wilkes University. So the timing was right. My children I'm not leaving them at home. No, so I look forward to spending time in Harrisburg, working in Harrisburg, and coming back, working within the district. And I made a commitment to the elected officials and the residents that have met so far in the last 90 days that they wouldn't see me every 4 years. And I don't mean that was what Senator Musto did. I'll be an elected official that will be meeting with them on a regular basis. If it's not me, it'll be a member of my staff that when there's a problem or when they need to talk to their senator, I will be in their hometown meeting with them respectively. And I plan on doing that. In fact, I'm enjoying going throughout the district because a lot of the towns remind me of Wilkes-Barre. They're very friendly, they're very welcoming, and they've been very encouraging to me with my run for this position.
In talking with your family, what were the cons?
Being away from home. Quite honestly, being out of town, not being in Wilkes-Barre as much as I am, and I keep late hours now with the mayor's job. I mean, on an average, I'm out 3 nights a week, whether it's at council meetings, whether it's meeting with different groups. Typically I try to get home and when they were all at home at one point, I would try to go home and have dinner with them and then scoot back out. But now it's really just my wife and I having dinner by ourselves. So I'm sure she'll miss me, but
she'll figure something out.
She'll figure something out.
Your brother's an official and travels a lot, doesn't he?
Yes.
So you'd probably be aware of what's going on in their lives.
Yes.
Did you consult with the senator and with some other people about whether this is the right fit for you, and were there other names that were being bandied about at the time?
No, I left a message with the senator congratulating on his fine career and thanking him for his service to the city of Wilkes-Barre when I was the mayor and as a city councilman and also as a resident, and told him that I was planning on making an announcement to seek the seat. But I did speak with numerous other elected officials throughout the district, and the feedback was very strong and very positive.